Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is 9:24 p.m. on this beautiful Sunday evening. It's 55 degrees outside. I just got off the phone talking to my sponsor. I was just checking in with her. And we were talking about how I felt the day after doing all that inventory, which I feel pretty good. I haven't really done anything today. I got up and we went to brunch, and then I was like, I'm just gonna hang out with Alex today in bed. So he was just playing his game and looking at stuff on his phone and reading about different stuff, and so I kind of napped in and out and talked to him, and then I made all my lists for tomorrow and the week ahead while I was uploading my vlog. And I was watching some YouTube videos. So there's this TikTok couple that Alex and I both watch. Their names are Chris and Ian. And Chris is sober, and he's like 23, 24, 25, I don't know. And then Ian, his boyfriend, is like 10 plus years older than him, I think. And they do these hilarious like TikTok pranks. Well, they started a YouTube channel, and TikTokers moving to YouTube is like, often it doesn't translate. I feel like, personally, like the humor of being able to do something in like a minute doesn't translate to like a longer YouTube video or like a vlog or something. But they are so good on their YouTube videos. Like, I love their YouTube videos, and they're very real too. The one I was just watching was a vlog they had done. It was called How We Make Our TikTok Video Vlog or something. It's like, just, they were showing like how they do a TikTok. But they show like all the background stuff too. Like, they showed a meeting that they had with TikTok for Pride Month, that they were like asked by TikTok to do some specific things for the LGBTQIA plus community. And then Ian had therapy, as like first therapy session, and so like they showed him like going in there to do that. Like, he was doing it like on a Zoom call, and then Chris was talking about his therapy sessions, and they're just very real, but they're hilarious as a couple too. And it's kind of funny because like they're so different than us, but there's pieces of them that remind me of us as well. And so it's funny. I think like recently Alex is like, do you really think if we did like a couples channel together? And I'm like, oh, so now after I have 6 channels, you want to do a couples channel? He's like, I don't know. I think maybe, sometimes I think about it. And so then he's like, no, I don't think so. And I think it would be fun to have a channel with Alex, but I don't really know what we would do with it, But then he was showing me this TikTok challenge. He was like, I think we should do this for a YouTube video. And it was like just like this 1 minute long TikTok challenge that this couple had done. Not that couple, but a different couple. And it was really funny, actually. It was this guy and girl, and because Alex watches so many TikToks, so he was like, would you want to do this this TikTok challenge with me? I'm like, yeah, sure, we can do it. I think that would be fun, So anyway, we had a good day. It was really nice. We just kind of hung out and were lazy all day today. And I was like, I'm gonna go vlog early, because he was watching the Lisa Vanderpump show. It's like a cooking show or something. She's not on the Real Housewives anymore of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's not on it anymore. She didn't actually come, I don't think, she didn't show up for the last reunion that she was on the show. And then I don't know what's going to happen with Vanderpump Rules, because I asked Alex that a while ago, but I haven't asked him since. I don't know if they started filming again or if the restaurant's open again. I don't know what they're going to do with that show. So she's got this cooking show now. Kyle Richards was on the episode that Alex was watching. It seems to me just like her part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Alex really likes Lisa Vanderpump. She's okay. It's not like I, like live or die for her. It's like whatever. I actually listened to a little bit of my audiobook today too, The Sky Blues. It's really good. I've got like a third of it left to listen to, so I'm gonna try to finish that tonight, maybe. Tonight, or listen to a majority of the rest of it tonight. I usually listen to books 2 times 5 or 3 times speed, but with that book, for some reason, like, I'm having a hard time listening to it fast, so I'm just listening to it at 2 times speed. Which even that is fast sometimes, and I miss parts of it. So, I'd have to go back and listen to it again. What else? When Alex comes home tomorrow, we're going to work on the chairs on the patio together. We were going to do it today, and he was so tired after brunch. I said, babe, we can just do it, because he was like, do you want to, he was like, do you need help with the chairs? Because I cannot. These chairs, it's hard to do together or do alone. And actually, I was reading the instructions, and like I read through the whole instructions, and the last 2 parts are like, have somebody else help you with this part, because you can't do it alone. It's like attaching the chair to like the recliner part. And the thing that's hard about it when I was doing it is it's like, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it's like the pieces are like, one piece is like this, and then the other piece is like flat and goes back like that, and it's holding these 2 different edges together while putting 2 different screws in it with a washer and then tightening them. And then they don't line up perfectly, so it's like you're trying to hold these pieces while doing the screw at the same time to get it in, and it's like really difficult. I mean, I'm not so stupid that I can't follow instructions to put like furniture together. Like, I know how to do that, but like it kept on, like, I would have it like right there, and then I would get the screw in, and then like the washer would fall out on the other, and I'd be like, oh my god. So I would pick it up again and I would do it. Now, it's actually like really patient doing the whole thing, but then I started getting really frustrated because it just happened over and over and over and over and over again. And if it wasn't this one, then it would be that one. And then when I finally got the second one in, it wasn't like, I didn't have the angle perfect, so like the screw wouldn't go in that far. And then it says, don't do it super tight, but then you tighten them up later. And so I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to tighten it up later, and this part won't go in and tighten up. So I was like, I need some help with just to hold these pieces together. Like, if Alex could hold them together, then I could screw in the screws and like with the washer. And I think it would be a lot easier if there's, so we're gonna do that tomorrow after he gets off work. I do not have my literature meeting tomorrow night because somebody's out of town. There's 2 people out of town, I think. So, and we're starting a new book, so we're taking a week off because we finished our last book and we're starting a new book. And so we're going to start the following week. And yeah. Which I'm excited about. The past 2 books are literature that I've like read tons before. At least parts of it I've read tons before. And the next book I've like skimmed and read parts of, but I've never read completely all the way through. It's a longer book too. It's going to take us a while. So I've never read it all the way through. So I'm excited about reading that. And that is starting in a couple weeks. And then, yeah, and then just stuff to do this week. made my list of all the things I need to do. I need to go buy new stove burner things. If you watched my, what was it, my review video or my Peter Dust, what was I making? I was reviewing that coffee stuff the other day, and I had this like white plastic like bubble envelope, and I set it over on the stove, which I think I just turned it off because I had been heating up water, and I didn't even think about it, and I'm like smelling, and I'm like really careful about stuff like that, like super, super careful when it comes to like stoves and candles and fire and stuff like that. I'm like really careful, and I'm like, what is that smell? And all of a sudden I looked over and I was like, I mean, I showed it in my video, you can see, this envelope was burning. So it burnt to the burner, which the burners are old anyway. They came with the, you know, originally when the house was built or whatever, or when my mom moved in there at least. So, I just need to go get new burners, which I think I can probably just go into like Home Depot or Menards or whatever and get, or Target or any Walmart or wherever else. And I just need a front and a back burner. So we've probably needed those for quite some time anyway. They just like plug right in and it's real easy. So we don't really use our stove a lot. I want to get, this is one of the things I'm looking at right now. I've looked at a couple different kinds. I mean, they range in prices anywhere from like $30 to like, I think that was like the cheapest one I saw was like close to $30. $30 all the way up to like $200 or $300. I want to get like a water kettle that you plug in, like an electric water kettle that you plug in and heat up water. Do you guys have those? Do you use them a lot? See, I feel like I would use that a lot with like tea and like just pour over coffee and stuff like that. I feel like if I had one of those kettles, I would use it. So I'm thinking about getting one of those, and I might get a red one. I found a red one that I liked. I think it was Cuisinart, maybe. Is it raining? Who knew it was going to start raining tonight? It's been supposed to have rained all weekend, and it hasn't, so interesting. Anyway, yeah, I was looking at those the other day. There's like a brand, I don't know where, I saw it on my friend's Instagram story. He and his husband got one, and they got not that, I think they got like a toaster, and the brand is Smeg, S-M-E-G. It must be like some really high-end brand, and I saw that they have like a whole line at Williams-Sonoma because I looked it up, and they have beautiful colors. They have like a mint green, and then like an off-white kind of cream color off-white, and then they have like a black, and then like a gray, I think. And they have like a toaster, and then they have like a water kettle, but it's like $300. It's like $249, $285, something like, I don't know, $2 something for this water kettle. And I thought that's ridiculous for like if I want to later upgrade, but like I should just buy a cheaper one. And they have some really nice versions that are, maybe it was just KitchenAid. Maybe that was the one that I saw that was like, there was one that was really nice and it was like $49, and I thought, okay, this is, like, I think I would really use a lot of this. Oh, man. I finished watching Clean and Sober when I got home last night. I forgot what a sad movie that was at the end. I remembered what I don't want to say it in case somebody's going to watch it, but I remembered what happened at the end, but I didn't remember how it happened. You guys, you know who that woman is that I was talking about? Because I looked at it, well, so if you watch, you know, movies, they like have the name like right there. I think it's like Amazon Prime or whatever. So, it's Kathy Baker is who was in that movie, who is also in Edward Scissorhands. She's been in a ton of stuff. I love her. I was like, oh my God, it's Kathy Baker. That's who it is. So, and what's so funny is she was actually in that movie, Season of Miracles, that I talked about, which was like one of my favorite Christmas movies. She played like the social worker, foster care person in that movie. That's like just at the beginning. She's in the hospital. Because Laura Dern plays like an addict who like is losing her kids. And that's why the sister like comes in, the Carla Gugliani or whatever her name is, comes and takes them to this small town. And, but then I looked up that girl, the little girl that was in that movie, When a Man Loves a Woman, and I think that was her very first movie that she was ever in. She had like this huge, long history of like she's like really like in some famous TV show now. I can't remember what it's called. But she's like this extensive filmography. And she also did, this was funny, I was looking like through her stuff. She's been like in video games and TV shows and movies. And, oh, she played the main character in the movie The Duff, which I read that book a couple years ago, but I don't think I ended up watching the movie. I read the book for Booktubeathon. Did I end up finishing that book? I feel like I did. But she, I was looking like through her filmography on Wikipedia, and at the end of it, her name's Mara something, I think. At the end of it, no, it's May. Her name's May something. At the very end of it, it said like, audiobooks or something, and she had been a narrator for audiobooks, and one of the audiobooks that she had been a character in was The Testaments by Margaret Atwood, which is the sequel that Margaret Atwood wrote. I just looked it up last night. It came out in 2019. I've had it on Audible for literally over a year, I think, and it's the sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. So she helped narrate that book, which I thought that was really interesting, that she was, I'm like 6 degrees of separation, you know, when you're like looking at people. Anyway. I was listening to that General Public song, Tenderness. Tenderness. I had that song stuck in my head like all day. So for brunch today, I had, well, Alex, so they don't have the turkey chili anymore. They now have this white chicken chili or chicken chili. And he got it last week, but he didn't like it as well as the turkey chili. I guess they're phasing it out because of the seasons or something, is what our server told us today. Our server that we're friends with. And so, he today got tomato artichoke soup, which is like their other like thing that they have every day. It's really, really good. So he got a bowl of tomato artichoke with like another bowl of croutons, because he loves so many croutons in his soup and chili. And then he got the Cuban breakfast, and then he got coffee, just plain regular coffee. And that was it. And then I got the gluten-free waffle with syrup and fruit on the side, and butter and syrup for my waffle. And then I got crispy potatoes with ketchup, which they bring me sriracha and ketchup, and it's so funny because, like, was it the last time? It was not too long ago. I dipped my, it's like home, you know, cut potatoes, like they're cut up, it's like a potato cut up, and like crispy potatoes. But I dipped my potatoes in the sriracha, and I wasn't expecting it. I thought it was going to be ketchup, and I was like, oh my god. So, when I got home last night, when I watched the Into Clean and Sober, I had a little bit of, like, a little treat tray. I had a blueberry, well, I finished it with, Toblerone. Toblerone? Am I pronouncing it right now? I'm trying to. So many people have corrected me on it, and now it's like, I feel like I've had it coming from every angle. I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce it. Toblerone, I think Toblerone is how you pronounce it. Anyway, that was how I finished my little treat tray. I had a piece of Toblerone, and I know everybody's gonna be like, no, you still aren't saying it right. And I had a blueberry muffin with cream cheese on it. And then I had some tortilla chips with cheese dip and other stuff. And I sat there and watched the end of that movie. It's so devastatingly sad. There was another movie that I thought of today, because when I was like finishing it, when I was looking at it today and closing it out, it was like other movies similar to this. And it brought up another movie that I can't remember what it was. But you know what? Like, I saw that there was a movie that is that made based on the book Million Little Pieces by James Fry, which I never finished reading that book because it was supposedly all just made up. And then like Oprah confronted him about it. Do you remember that? I know a lot of people that really liked that book. And my friend Tanya, my best friend Tanya, she, like you don't know who Tanya is at this point. She really liked the second book that he wrote, which is called My Friend Leonard, I think. She really loved that book. And so anyway, I remember somebody said to me later, they were like, you know, about the whole book. I was like, what do you think about it? You know, about him making up all this stuff. I kind of knew it when I read it, because like he's in detox and then he goes to the dentist, and having gone through detox, I'm like, they wouldn't have sent you, like if they had sent you to the dentist during detox, like you would have had to have had major dental issues going on. And that was not my experience. Anybody that I had known that had gone to detox. I'm not saying that that's not true. I'm just saying that that had not been my experience. So I was kind of like, there were some other things in his story of early detox that didn't line up to my story and other stories of people that I had known that had gone through detox at different places. So there's kind of like a similarity between all of it, you know, like when you talk to people that no matter where you went, they're kind of similar experiences. And so, but I remember a friend of mine, somebody I was talking to, said they really liked it, and they were in recovery. They were sober too. And it may have been Tanya, but I feel like Tanya didn't really like Million Little Pieces, and she only liked My Friend Leonard. So I don't remember who it was, but they said that their attitude, I was like, well, what's your attitude about the book? And they're like, well, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as it helps like one person. If one person is like helped by it, then, and I was like, you know what, that's probably true. Now, I remember when I read Augustin Burroughs, which, like, this is one of my husband's favorite books, Dry. He loves all of Augustin Burroughs' writing, although Alex doesn't really read very much. He doesn't read at all anymore, but he used to when we first got together. He used to read memoirs. He read all the Chelsea Handler books and the Tucker Max books, and he liked the Augustin Burroughs books. He would probably like David Sedaris. I think he may have read one of his. I'm not sure, but I think he would like David Sedaris if he read him. But when I read that book, Dry, I was like, and Dry actually is Augustin Burroughs' experience of going to a gay treatment center. I think I know the treatment program that he went to, because it's a pretty well-known LGBT treatment program. But other than it being like a gay treatment program, that was my experience going to treatment. Like, that book, I should probably listen to that book again. I read it years ago. I think I've read it once or twice. I haven't read it in all these years again. I should do that again. But yeah, I was really, really impressed with Dry. But, you know, probably just because I related to it and I felt like it was very similar to my story, you know? I don't know. But there was another movie that came up, and I was like, how did I forget that movie? That is so crazy. When I was talking about movies last night, it was like movies similar to Clean and Sober. Shoot. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, doesn't matter probably. Doesn't matter at all, does it? I was just thinking about, like, I love Sundays, you know? I feel like Sundays are such great days just to kind of, like, relax. And the last 2 Sundays, I really had to force myself to do it. Like, today, I had, like, all these video ideas of stuff that I wanted to do. And I was like, you know, you just hang out and spend some time with Alex and the dogs and just lay in bed today. You know, you can start fresh tomorrow. And which always helps me then when I make my lists, because then I'm like, okay, here's my list and I'm prepared and whatever. And so, what was I gonna say? Oh, but I love Sundays, and Sundays always were just like a day when I was growing up, you know, that we would just get restarted for the week ahead. And you know, I can remember my mom, like, she wouldn't make a huge meal, but she would do something that was kind of special, and we'd always have like a dessert with it on Sunday, you know, and, you know, we would have like a late lunch with church. Like we would stop at this Roslyn bakery that they used to have here in town. They don't have them anymore. I've talked about this a million times on here, but it's like one of my favorite memories. So we would go to church. The church that I grew up going to was at 38th and Park, downtown. And it no longer exists. It was called Our Redeemer Lutheran Church. It's so weird because I just have to give a little shout out, and I don't want to say their name, but so I think I talked about this the first time. Probably 3 months ago, I got an email from this guy that he and his wife watch my vlogs. And he went to high school with me, and he actually graduated in '87. So he graduated the year that I would have been a sophomore. And just, you know who you are, because he just emailed me this week. And when I had like driven around like 52nd and Central, like trying to find my mom's house that she went to I have to say too that I didn't say this that day, but that was just the house that my mom went to. I think like 10, 11, and 12th grade, like maybe 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Prior to that, like my mom changed like something ridiculous, like 9 schools, 12 schools, or something, like in 12 years. Like they moved constantly when she was growing up. So that was just the house that she lived in when she went to high school. But anyway, okay, I was talking about recommendations that he made, and I said his name, first and last name, which, you know, anyway, but it's really nice to get these emails from somebody that, you know, used to live here. We went to the same high school, never knew each other, and now he watches my vlogs, which I think is so crazy. I don't remember if he said how he found me or not. But anyway, he's made some recommendations of places that because I said in the video when I was driving around the other day, I said, when I was driving around showing my mom's like house and stuff in high school, I said, give me some recommendations if there are places that you want me to go drive around and show in Indianapolis. So he gave me some recommendations. So anyway, I thought that was cool. But anyway, when I was growing up, we would go to church on Sundays. And my mom was very involved in our church. And she would do like altar guild, which is where they got like communion ready and stuff. Or she always had to do something. So we were like the last ones besides the secretary of the church to leave the church, I remember. I don't know why. I just remember always being like the last ones to leave, and we would walk out, and then on our way home, we would stop at this Roslyn bakery, which is like a local bakery. It closed down. Apparently, it closed down because they had rats in the factory or something. I don't know how true that is. I also know that the owner, and I know this was devastating when it happened. Somebody came into his home and murdered him. It's like this big deal that happened in Indianapolis years and years and years ago. My friend's dad, who has since passed, he was really good friends with him. And, so anyway, Roslyn Bakeries has since closed down. Kroger grocery stores, I feel like still, like they carry their cookies. I don't know if that's just in Indianapolis or where else, but they still carry Roslyn Bakery cookies, and they have the cookbooks. So you can get, I need to get one of those cookbooks actually, so that I can make these things like sweetheart rolls, and years from now when they're like no longer, you can get them, you know. I bet my cousin Caroline has one of those. But anyway, not like I would have any clue how to make a sweetheart roll anyway, you know. Can you even imagine? I can hardly put together a patio chair, let alone make a sweetheart roll. But I can try. See, that's where I'm more positive thinking, more positive talk. But we would go to Roslyn Bakery. My mom would let me get like, you know, like a couple donuts and like a cookie, or I always got to pick like a special cookie. And depending on the year or the time of year, they would have like Halloween cookies or Easter cookies. I remember they had like these Easter their sugar cookies were fantastic always. And it would be like a big orange pumpkin, you know, or like a chick, you know, that was all yellow for Easter or something like that. They had really good sugar cookies. Their sugar cookies are the best. They were kind of soft, and I was gonna say moist, but I hate that word. So they were kind of soft, and they just were delicious. And they had these yeast donuts that were just like the best yeast donuts in the entire world. They had all different kinds of fancy donuts and stuff, and cakes, and it just was really good. So we would go to Roslyn Bakery on the way home, and then, you know, my mom would make this. I'm talking more about after my parents got separated. Before my parents got separated, I remember my mom would make like chicken noodle soup. I've told this story a million times. Tuna fish salad sandwiches. She would make the same thing for lunch when we would get home, you know, in the afternoon. And I can remember sitting out on our porch with this, like, it was like a room, but we called it our porch, and it had like green carpet on it and floor to ceiling windows. And I would sit on the porch and I would read like the comics, like the funny pages, you know, in the paper, the comics. I loved Marmaduke and Doggone Funny, where somebody would write in. I used to think, I don't know, maybe they really do, but I used to think that somebody really did write in, but they were so stupid. Anyway, it would be like, Judy Smith of Indianapolis, Indiana, has a, you know, miniature pincher who, when you squeeze its nose, it sings Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And it was always, I loved it. I don't know why. I thought it was so silly. And I loved Kathy, and I loved Charlie Brown, the Peanuts. I guess it was called the Peanuts, wasn't it? Yeah. And I just, like, you know, I'd read all those cartoons, and then we would have lunch. And then I would do, like, whatever homework I had left, which was never any, because I didn't do any. And then I would, like, take a nap or something, and then we would have, like, a dinner, or, you know, kind of like a supper at, like, 5 or 6 in the evening. And then get in my pajamas, and I would read or watch a movie with my mom or something like that. But I just remember it being like, I don't know why I always remember there being a period where I was like really into the Ramona Quimby books. And I feel like I was reading those on Sunday nights a lot. Because later, when my old roommate and she and I would go to the library. This was after I got sober and I was with my first boyfriend, and the three of us had an apartment together. She and I would go to the library, and PBS had done a whole series of like a TV show around the Ramona Quimby books by Beverly Cleary. She just passed away. Did you hear? It's so sad, isn't it? But anyway, so she, so there was like a whole series, like a TV show series, like a weekly series that was about Ramona and Ramona Quimby. Why can't I think of her sister's name? I remember when that book Super Fudge came out, and like everybody read it, and that was like such a big deal. Which I don't know why it was a big deal. I don't even remember the book. What was the Ramona's sister? What's her name? I know somebody's shouting it right now at the screen. Ramona, well, for me it's the camera, for you it's the screen. Ramona and Beezus was her name. But they were like just like a homey, you know, cozy, comfy family. And yeah. I remember she and I used to rent them. You could just get them out at the library, and then we would take them home and we would watch those on Sundays. We would get like pizza or something. I think, you know, so much of my life, really more in my 20s, I like thought that I wanted my life to look like a certain way, you know, like, well, maybe I'll live in this city, or maybe I'll have this, you know, these riches and this fame or whatever, you know, or this fame, this money. Like, I think I thought that way, honestly, you know, way back then. And then it's like, and it's okay to dream, you know. I thought, oh, my life will look like, you know, I'm doing this and doing that and whatever. And then it's like, maybe that was like more like my late teens, early 20s. Maybe that was more like before I got sober, I think. You know, but then you get to a point where it's like going to brunch on a Sunday with your husband, taking a nap, you you know, watching some TV shows in the evening and preparing for your week ahead, and like that being a good Sunday or a good Monday, you know, to have a good dinner with your partner or the kids and the dogs, you know, and the dogs are running around and the house smells good because you've opened the windows and aired it out, and it's like spring cleaning time, and maybe you like washed your sheets today and everybody put on new sheets on their bed, you know, or, you know, like you got a new candle at Bath and Body Works and it makes your house or your apartment smell great, you know, or you're using a new, like Alex used all these new face washes that he got tonight and the whole upstairs smelled like cucumber. It smelled so fantastic. And, you know, it's like those are like the moments that I think when you really realize that this is what life is really all about, are like those small moments, those simple moments of just like, you know, having a new candle next to your bed that you light, or using a new face wash, you know, and getting excited about that, or just like, you know, making your bed really nice so that when you get in it at the end of the day, it's like all freshly made, and, you know, or whatever, or buying a new plant, you know, even if it's just a little plant. Oh my God, my sponsor last night, she bought a package of blue hostas. She was so excited about these. They look cool, these blue hostas that she's going to plant, you know, but then she had bought 2 little tomato plants, and she's like, I'm so excited about these tomato plants. You know, it's stuff like that. And, I remember years ago hearing this story. I think this is where this is long before YouTube and stuff, like this is with my ex. I remember hearing this story of this couple that had like gotten sober together, and they had bought this land, and you know, they like built a house on the property for like their daughter and her husband and their son and whatever, and they would just like every Sunday they would get together, and it was like, you know, they would have like family dinner at like the parents' house, and they would all like watch a movie and make a big thing of popcorn, and I can remember thinking, God, isn't that so like that is like the perfect life, you know? Go to a meeting and then come home and watch a movie with your partner, you know, whatever, and to then wake up one day, and I mean, no, I don't live on property and have houses for, you know, my family, but, and I don't know that, in all honesty, I love my family, but I don't know that I want to be that close to them, but, you know, I need a little space between my family, but, no, I'm joking, I love them, but with my friends, oh yeah, I could have Tanya, like, right here, and, you know, but, I think, like, when you wake up one day and you realize it's really about those small moments, you know? It's really about driving to work and listening to an audiobook that you love in your car, and you can't wait to get back out to your car at the end of the day to listen to that audiobook, you know? Whatever you're doing, running errands, going to appointments, going to work, whatever, you know? Or that, you know, if you're blessed enough to have a job that you absolutely love. I love when people say to me, like, you know, because you hear so many people, like, complain about their jobs and stuff like that. We've all done it, right? I think we've all done it. I did it, you know, and all that back in the day and everything. But every once in a while I'll meet somebody and I'll be like, what do you, like, oh, Mel is like this. Like, Mel loves her job, you know, and she just loves where she works. She loves who she works for. She gets along great with everybody, you know, and she loves what she does. And it's like, there's something about that when somebody is so, like, just in love with their job, you know? And I love when people are like that, or gardening, or just whatever they're doing, you know? And it's like when you start appreciating those small things in life, and you start having a lot of gratitude for those small things in life. I need to start practicing. Tomorrow when I get up, this is my goal. Tomorrow I'm starting gratitude again, like I did in November, because my sponsor said that she could really tell a difference in me last November when I did that. She was like, you just were like, every day you were living in the present. That's what she kept on saying. You were just in the present every single day. But I think that when you notice those small things and you're super grateful for those small things, I think that your life starts looking differently, because you see it from the point of view of all of those things, you know, instead of what you don't have, or what your life could be, or, oh wow, like, I always thought my life was gonna look like this, or I was gonna live here, and now it's like past the point where that's never gonna happen, which is BS, you know, but like, oh no, that's never gonna happen, you know. I think sometimes when you start looking at all of the things that you do have, and you start looking at all of the little things, you know, that do mean something, just like me having 3 blueberry muffins at home with cream cheese, you know? Like, I know that sounds silly, but that's something that will make me happy when I have a blueberry muffin later, you know? Or a glass of cold water in the middle of the night, or waking up and realizing you have several more hours before you have to get up, or, you know, little Boo Radley and Tucker just curled in little circles on the wall. Tucker sleeps like this, and Boo Radley curls in a little circle, you know, and in the middle of the night, you know, looking over and just looking at them, and they're so sweet, you know, or just all of it. I think, like, the smell of the fresh grass outside being cut, you know. It was like the lawn guys came this week, and the lawn company came and they cut our lawns, and it was like, you could smell it outside, and it was like, spring is here, and summer is right around the corner. I don't know. I don't want to miss those small things that, you know, make the world so fantastic. I just don't want to miss them. So, and I think that the more you focus on that, the more you notice all of the smaller things in life, you know? The simple abundance. As the author of the book said, Simple Abundance, which I don't think I've ever finished that book. She was on Oprah, so it's a practice of gratitude. So, and I'm very grateful for you guys for watching and listening and tuning in, listening to what I have to say. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I'm going to get off here now and listen to my audiobook, and then head on home to hang out with Alex for a little while before he goes to bed. Hang out with Alex for a little while. Hang out with Alex before, just a little bit before he goes to bed. A little while. Hang out with Alex for a little while. Like in my head, grammatically, which one's better? Go home and hang out with Alex for a little while before he goes to bed. And I hope you guys are having an amazing Monday, and having the best Monday ever, and really enjoying it, and having an amazing Monday. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!